One day, a mighty lion was wandering deep in the jungle in search of food. The forest was calm, but suddenly the lion's attention was caught by the sweet smell of honey. As he moved closer, he found a beehive hanging from a tall tree. Without hesitation, the lion began to lick the honey dripping from it. But the moment he tried to eat, the beehive shook and broke, falling on his back. Within seconds, thousands of angry bees swarmed out and attacked him. The lion roared loudly in pain and fear, thrashing around the forest to get rid of the bees, but they only stung him harder. At the same time, a man was walking through the jungle for sightseeing. He heard the terrifying roars and rushed towards the sound. To his shock, he saw the mighty lion helpless, covered with bees. Realizing the danger, he quickly contacted the animal rescue team. The rescue team arrived without delay, bringing protective gear and smoke to calm the bees. Carefully, they managed to drive the bees away and treat the lion's wounds. The lion, though exhausted, finally found relief. The jungle was alive with its usual symphony. Birds chirped from the canopy, the wind carried the fragrance of wildflowers, and the distant rumble of a waterfall added music to the wilderness. Amidst this natural orchestra, the king of the jungle, an enormous lion with a golden mane, stalked silently between the trees. His muscles rippled under his skin, his amber eyes glowed with hunger, and his nostrils twitched at every scent. He had been wandering for hours, searching for prey. The sun was high in the sky, and his thirst and hunger pushed him deeper into the dense woods. That was when a sweet aroma tickled his senses, the unmistakable scent of honey. His ears pricked forward, and his eyes gleamed. The lion followed the smell until he reached a massive tree. Hanging from its branches was a large, heavy beehive, golden honey dripping down its edges. To the lion, this was not just a sweet treat. It was a sudden discovery that promised to ease his hunger. With a deep growl of satisfaction, he stood on his hind legs and licked the honey that dripped onto the bark. At first, it was perfect. The taste was rich and sweet, filling his mouth with warmth. But his actions disturbed the hive. The bees inside grew restless, buzzing angrily, warning him to back away. The lion ignored their warning. He clawed at the hive, shaking it violently. That was his mistake. The hive cracked, then suddenly broke apart, landing squarely on his back. Within moments, the air filled with a furious buzzing. Thousands of bees poured out, each one ready to defend its home with painful stings. The lion roared in shock and pain. He leaped away from the tree, twisting and rolling, but the bees were relentless. They swarmed his mane, stung his face, and crawled into his ears. He swiped his giant paws in the air, but the tiny insects were too many, too fast. The once proud king of the jungle was reduced to a panicked, suffering creature. His mighty roars echoed through the jungle, sending birds flying and monkeys screeching. But the bees had no mercy. Each sting burned like fire, spreading waves of agony across his body. The lion sprinted across the jungle floor, but the swarm followed. He plunged into the tall grass, rolled in the mud, and even crashed into bushes, yet the bees clung to him. His eyes watered, his vision blurred, and his powerful body weakened under the relentless assault. Far away, a man was exploring the jungle. He was a traveler, drawn by the beauty of nature. Dressed in light clothes and carrying a small backpack, he walked slowly, marveling at the trees and listening to the birds. He was not expecting danger. Then he heard it, the unmistakable sound of a lion's roar. But this roar was different. It was not the roar of dominance or pride. It was a roar filled with pain, desperation and fear. The man froze. Every muscle in his body went rigid. His instincts told him to run, but curiosity and concern made him step forward. Carefully, he followed the sound. His heart pounded louder with each step. When he finally pushed through a thick patch of bushes, his eyes widened in shock. There, in a clearing, was the mighty lion, but it was not majestic at all. The beast was rolling on the ground, shaking his head violently, his golden fur covered in black clouds of bees. His roars were muffled by the swarm, his body trembling under their stings. The man's first reaction was terror. A wild lion alone was deadly enough, but one in pain and surrounded by bees was unpredictable. Yet, as he watched, something stirred inside him. This was the king of the jungle, brought to his knees by tiny insects. His suffering was unbearable to witness. Without wasting another moment, the man pulled out his phone. His hands trembled as he dialed the emergency number for the animal rescue team. His voice cracked as he explained the situation. "There's a lion! He's being attacked by bees! He's in danger! Please, hurry!" The team on the other end understood the urgency. They assured him they would arrive soon and instructed him to keep a safe distance. The man climbed onto a nearby rock, keeping his eyes fixed on the lion. Minutes felt like hours. The jungle echoed with the lion's cries, and each sound pierced his heart. He could see the lion's strength fading, his movements slowing, his body collapsing onto the earth. Finally, the sound of vehicles broke through the jungle. The rescue team had arrived. A group of men and women dressed in protective suits, carrying equipment and smoke canisters, rushed toward the scene. Their leader, a seasoned rescuer named Kareem, surveyed the situation with sharp eyes. "This is worse than I expected," Kareem muttered. "The bees are aggressive, and the lion is exhausted. We need to act fast." The team spread out strategically. Two members lit smoke canisters and waved,